You want that car, but what if you had to pay an extra $4,000, $5,000, even $7,000 to get it?
Pretty steep. Of course, a lot of us, maybe most of us, would say no. But tonight, the KHOU 11 News I-Team uncovers that hidden fee that sometimes gets buried in the price.
And when that happens, investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski says consumers never have a clue they just paid for it. So, Jeremy, what's going on here?
Well, Lucy, Greg, not all car dealers do it, but it's far more likely to happen if you have no credit, spotty credit, or a checkered credit history. It's a bank fee to cover for that riskier loan. But instead of being open and transparent about it, we found lenders and dealers play a game of hide the ball.
Consumer can't see it, can't feel it, can't touch it, doesn't see anything that has it.
He's an auto dealer insider.
But they're paying it.
But they're paying it.
And he's revealing
Best kept secret in the world.
a secret that may be costing you thousands of dollars. And one Dwayne Overholt knows well.
I was a liar, thief, and a crook.
Because as a sales and finance manager, he did it for years.
Ripped off customers, cheated them, lied to them.
It's all part of a profitable game played by car dealers and lenders that you, the consumer, rarely gets told about.
They pull their crooked math.
But in Sean Henderson's case, someone slipped. While buying a used Hyundai sedan at a local dealership, he says he overheard the sales and finance manager saying
It was going to cost them $2,000 to get me financed.
To get the loan through.
Yeah.
But when it was time to sign the dotted line, Henderson says his paperwork never mentioned the $2,000.
Was it ever disclosed to you that you were paying this fee?
No.
But the I-Teams learned it's happening across the nation. Banks and lenders charging dealerships thousands of dollars just to approve a loan. It's called an acquisition fee, and it's not supposed to be passed on to the customer. But we've obtained insider documents showing you are footing the bill without ever knowing it.
The banks are saying to the dealer, there's going to be a bank fee for us to do business with you. You've agreed as a dealer not to charge that against the transaction.
But Overholt, who now fights against auto fraud for consumers, says the banks are kidding themselves about that agreement.
They know how the auto industry works, and they know ultimately the dealer's going to charge it back to the transaction. He has to.
Has to keep profits up. And so, game on. Our insider documents show for a Ford Focus priced at nearly $22,000, the lender charged nearly $2,900 just to approve the loan. And who paid for it? The customer. Or how about a $21,800 Ford Ranger that carried a $4,200 fee passed on to the customer? Or a $34,000 Ford Edge we found, where the buyer paid a whopping $7,500 acquisition fee. So who sold those cars? Lone Star Ford on the North Freeway.
Why don't you all tell consumers about these fees?
You'll have to talk to our corporate office out of Charlotte.
Do you think consumers should know?
You'll have to talk to our corporate office out of Charlotte.
Lone Star's corporate office later told us it had no comment. But the I-Team has discovered another problem.
The bank wants the cake and ice cream too.
What's our former insider talking about? Well, those car dealers we showed you were already financed at a hefty 18% interest rate.
And there's an acquisition fee.
But we asked certified public accountant Bob Martin to do some math and hypothetically factor in the acquisition fee.
If you add this extra layer, you add this acquisition fee, regardless of what the terminology is, you're in effect paying a higher interest rate.
Just how high? Martin says that Ford Focus would have jumped from 18 to 25% interest. The Ranger pickup from 18 to 28%, and the Ford Edge almost double the trouble, 18 to 35% interest. However you consider it, someone's making money, and in our cases, it's a big-time industry player based in Dallas. Santander Consumer USA and its subsidiary Drive does $25 billion in loans nationwide, something that lets the company's CEO live large in this $11 million mansion, complete with its own baseball field, soccer field, even a water slide, and oodles more on the inside. So we decided to visit Santander.
I'm wondering, why don't you disclose these fees to consumers?
Can I actually please turn off the camera?
We'd rather not turn off the camera. Can I ask you a question about these fees?
No, you cannot. Can I actually please leave the building?
So where does that leave car owners?
Is this legal?
Well, guess what? According to the state of Texas,
I believe it can be under the way the law is written.
Rudy Aguilar is with the Office of Consumer Credit Commissioner.
There is specific law that says, first of all, that doesn't have to be disclosed.
It doesn't.
No, sir. And that it is not finance charge.
That seems to put the consumer at a disadvantage, big time.
It does.
And get this, even if that fee is being added to the car, drastically inflating its price, Texas regulators don't have a problem with it.
Well, they agreed to a price to purchase the vehicle.
So if the consumer is dumb enough to pay this overinflated price and he signs the dotted line, SOL?
I would not put it in that sort of harsh term.
But it's not a level playing field, is it?
It can be a situation where it's not, correct.
Now, a spokesperson for Santander Consumer USA told us by phone that, again, the majority of their customers have less than perfect credit, and because the loan is riskier, it has to compensate for that risk. The company also said it's providing a needed service because many customers could not get financing otherwise. Lucy and Greg?
Yeah, unfortunately, most of us have less than perfect credit these days. Now, if they don't have to disclose this fee, is there anything that we can do to protect ourselves?
There is one biggie. According to both our consumer advocates and our state regulators, do not let a dealer run your credit before negotiating price. Agree on a price, get it in writing, and then work out the financing. This will give you a better handle on the real price of the car. And if the dealer is not willing to do that, well, our former insider says, walk away. I'm Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.